Hello everyone, welcome to Home Sense with Nell. So today guys, I'm so excited to share with you how we filled our 4 foot by 6 foot by 1 foot raised garden bed with Mel's Mix from the square foot gardening method, but we did it in such a way as to save about half the cost. So my bed, being 4 foot by 6 foot by 1 foot, would require 24 cubic feet of soil. But when I checked the prices, 24 cubic feet of Mel's Mix, even if it was a homemade mix, was going to cost well over $200. So I didn't want to quite spend that much on this garden bed. My purpose on my channel is to do my projects with a budget in mind. So what I decided to do was go ahead and do some lasagna gardening on the bottom of the bed, and then on the top half of the bed where I'm going to be planting my vegetables, use the Mel's Mix. So we were able to go ahead and cut our Mel's Mix requirement in half from 24 cubic feet to 12 cubic feet, and I'm going to show you how we did it. So Mel's Mix is composed of 1/3 peat moss, 1/3 vermiculite, and 1/3 compost. So luckily I had a little bit of peat moss left over from previous projects and previous plantings. So I threw that down on the tarp, and then we opened up a fresh package, which is 3 cubic feet, and we broke that up, wet it down, and just kind of incorporated it into the older peat moss. And it's interesting that these two batches of peat moss are different colors, as you can see. But it is an organic material, so I guess you can expect that. Now on top of the peat moss, we went ahead and added the vermiculite, which is the second component of Mel's Mix. Vermiculite holds, it allows your soil to have a lot of aeration because it's the little white puffy balls that you see when you buy potting mix in bags. That's vermiculite, or sometimes perlite. And this stuff expands a lot when it gets wet, so you're going to see that too. So in addition to the 4 cubic feet of vermiculite, we added 4 cubic feet of compost. So again, it's 4 cubic feet of perlite or vermiculite, 4 cubic feet of compost, and 4 cubic feet of peat moss. And those combined will provide a great soil for your vegetables that'll be loaded with nutrients from the compost, as well as aerated from the vermiculite, and a nice texture and loam from the peat moss. So luckily my husband was helping me here mix everything in. It's a lot of fun to do, but it is kind of a lot of work. Now, Mel's Mix, or in the Square Foot Gardening books, it is recommended that Mel's Mix is composed of different types of compost. In order to provide a wide variety of nutrients for your plants, you want to give them different types of compost. So you can use mushroom compost, you can use manure, whatever is available in your area. Unfortunately, in my area, the only thing I could find was the cow manure, the composted cow manure, which is mixed, I think, with a little bit of chicken manure also. So I use mainly that, but then I decided to throw in a bag of the raised potting mix because that is also primarily compost. So I just did that in order to total the 4 cubic feet, but in order to provide a variety of nutrition for the plants. So finally, guys, after everything was added onto that tarp, the mixing process begins. And remember, this is only half of what is traditionally recommended. We traditionally would have needed twice this much, but this is about 12 cubic feet rather than 24 cubic feet. And the book recommends using the tarp and a little bit of elbow grease to mix up your soil. So this is pretty much the final product. We just were raking it and shoveling it, trying to get out the larger clumps of peat moss and get everything incorporated. So here we are back at my 4 foot by 6 foot by 1 foot bed. And again, in order to save money, what we decided to do was the lasagna gardening on the bottom. So on the bottom, what you're looking at is some old potting soil and some dried branches from different plants that we had cut down in the backyard. So that the dried branches will provide the carbon. Okay. On top of the carbon, you want to put something that's green, either food scraps, grass, green leaves, or some other plant material, because that's going to provide the nitrogen. So far I have a layer of carbon and I have a layer of nitrogen. And you need both of those components in order to get your soil to decompose and provide a nice, healthy environment for your plants. And after each level or layer, it's a good idea to wet it down because that will facilitate the breakdown. That will provide moisture for the bacteria to help them work faster to get everything to break down into soil. So after my green layer, which was my bird of paradise leaves, I added some cardboard. And as long as you remove the labels from the cardboard, it's perfectly safe to use as a compost material. I often put it in my vegetable compost bin and let it break down over time. So as you guys can see, my bed is about halfway full now with the lasagna gardening or the compostable materials. And on top of this, we went ahead and added that wonderful Mel's mix that we had mixed up earlier. So the intention of this bed is to go ahead and plant the vegetables and seeds in the Mel's mix. And over time, the bottom layers will break down into a nice rich soil that the roots can further expand into. Guys, let me know in the comments down below how you are filling your raised beds this season. Are you using like a pre-made soil? Are you using previously used soil? Or maybe you're making up your own Mel's mix? I would love to hear everybody's ideas down below. I hope this video finds everybody well and in good spirits during this pandemic period. I know I am feeling a little bit of wear and tear because of this, and I really do enjoy gardening as a hobby, not only for the bounty that it provides, but just for the peace that you feel when you go out in the garden sometimes. I know a lot of people have started gardening just during this period, during this tough time that we're going through. Hopefully my videos will be somewhat helpful or at least inspirational to you as you're watching them. And again, I'm no expert. I just like to share what works for me and what doesn't work for me, so that way maybe I can save somebody the heartache in the future. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's how we filled our 4 by 6 by 1 foot deep elevated garden bed with Mel's mix. We filled the top half with the mix and the bottom half with the lasagna gardening method. I'm looking forward to using this bed in the fall and watching all of my delicious vegetables grow healthy and happy. Guys, if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe for more videos on home decor, DIYs, and gardening.